Hello, this video is going to talk about how to record the trumpet, like right here, into FL Studio. It's pretty much similar, I think, in other programs as well, as long as you have a mixer with various tracks. You want to set one of the tracks up on the mixer to pick up a microphone, which I have one here. So you need a microphone. Depending on what kind of microphone you have, you need to have an audio interface, or if you're using a USB microphone like the Blue Yeti or any of those condensers, you can just plug it in to your computer via USB. But if you have an XLR microphone like mine, you'd also have to have an audio interface, which cheap ones are around $100, 200 bucks for cheap. I mean, they're good quality, but just they're affordable, with one or two channels as input into those audio interfaces. So you'd have to have it depending on what microphone you have. If you have a USB, you just plug the USB into your computer. If you have an XLR microphone, you have to have an audio interface to run that the signal through, and then from the audio interface you go into USB or through Thunderbolt or something into your computer. All right, so once you have the equipment, the trumpet, the mouthpiece, whatever you need to make noise, make a musical sound, you have to have that stuff. So the trumpet, a microphone to record on, XLR cable or a USB cable, and then if you have XLR, you make sure you have an audio interface and the software. All right. So in our case, we're going to use this FL Studio here. All right. This mixer is a little bit different looking. You can change the way it looks by just doing view, and then you can take out the waveforms. Now it looks more, it looks regular, the wide. So now this is like what the mixer looks like when you get it from FL Studio. All right, the microphone is connected over here for a vocal track. So my vocals are running through this track 10 over here, but they're a little quiet, so let's do that. And that was the problem. I had to press around the wrong thing. Gotta take this off real quick. You don't want to put any effects on the master. You want to try to put the effects on the actual tracks, okay? But for the point of this video, I'm gonna put the trumpet one here into mixer track 5. All right, and this basically assumes you understand how to use this mixer. If you don't understand the mixer at all, I have a video that you can watch that teaches you the basic fundamentals of using a mixer, a virtual mixer on a software application like FL Studio. So basically, we're going to rename this track 5 to be trumpet 1. All right, or whatever, trumpet. We should do trumpet now. So that's trumpet. You can add if you want to get into this, you can add a little icon. There's a trumpet icon right there, so just to be cute. But you'll notice there's no signal coming into this track. There is signal over here because I set it up, but the input. All right, so on this trumpet track, you want to come to the input in the top right part of the mixer, looking at it, and you want to choose your okay. So you'll see now it has input, but I have it muted, but you'll notice it has signal now. Okay, so that means this thing is the microphone's recording into this track. All right, and that's where you're going to be playing your trumpet, and I'll do that later. But before we do any recording whatsoever, we have to set this up so it's going to sound good in the software. All right, so before you even record anything using trumpet, you have to set this up, and basically you're going to want to add some effects to it before you do anything. A compressor so you can raise the gain. Now you can do this on the audio interface as well. There is a gain there that lets you turn the gain up a little bit. So now you'll notice as I do that, it'll kind of get higher. See how it's low when it's at -5.2, and as I raise this, it's going to come up a little bit on the volume levels. So then you keep raising it to around 10, okay, 9.8 or whatever, around there. Okay, so that's the first thing. You want to also put a little bit of equalization on it, EQ. So just cut out some of the higher end things, and you can customize this any way you want. So if you want to have a certain sound from your recording, you can preset this to be a certain way. You know, if you want to have panning and kind of flanger stuff and all this reverb that's on the recording and not on the actual thing, you can set it all up right here. So you can add a little bit of reverb, turn that volume down a little bit, you know, come in, bring that up a little bit like that, and now you know your track will have that. So this one sounds a certain way, and this one's a little bit different. You'll notice that this one's different. You'll notice the voice. Okay, so that's the main difference in being able to do this. If you raise it up, it should be there. But this is what we're going to record the trumpet on. All right. So to record trumpet, you want to kind of set the microphone a certain way as well. I'm going to show you what I have here. I'm going to take that off. And all right, you'll notice I have this right here. Okay, and it's on a stand so I can swivel it around. It's just a pretty basic condenser microphone. You can buy these for $100, under $100 maybe if they're on sale. But you also need the audio interface, like I said. That is this M-Box Pro up here on the top. You'll see on the input. You'll have to have that as well to get the audio signal from the microphone. Now you can keep the pop filter, but to record trumpet or any kind of brass instrument or kind of a woodwind instrument or concert instrument, you'd want to keep a simple rule of thumb in mind, and that is you position the microphone twice the distance of the instrument. So if the instrument is a trumpet that is roughly, I don't know, two and a half feet, maybe, yeah, about 2.5 feet, you want to put the microphone, or you want to position yourself 5 feet away from the microphone and a little bit below the bell, so you can't see the microphone, but that's the best positioning to pick up the most sound. You also have to take into consideration the pattern of the microphone. If it's a cardioid, make sure you're not behind the microphone or something, because then it's going to dampen the sound a lot. Make sure you're in the right position for what the microphone is set to record through. If it's a cardioid microphone, if it's a omnisphere microphone, if it's a shotgun microphone, etc. So I'm going to show you this real quick. I'm going to twist this around. All right, I'm going to raise it up, and I'm just going to move it around, and I'm going to get up and stand 5 to 6 feet over there. You won't see me, but I'm just going to move over, and I'll record something from 5 to 6 feet away from the microphone. All right. Now this is a pretty basic way of doing this, you know, because I'm in a makeshift area right now, but let's do this. All right, I'll be right back, and you'll see what it can do. Oh, and to record, you have to come up to the top right up here into the microphone button, click on that. I don't recommend using this record, because this only records the patterns in the sequencer for when you're making drum beats and stuff like that. So make sure you always use the microphone in the top right of the of this FL Studio, and you want to do into playlist as an audio clip. It'll count down for a bit, so I have to get up and move, and you can always edit the parts out, cut, you know, and clean up the audio recording later. But let's do this. All right, so I'm gonna move and record something. So we got it right there. Okay, here's your recording. Now yeah, it got it, but it got it on the wrong one, because this was muted. It didn't pick up the right one. So I'm gonna do it one more time, but I'm gonna mute this one and I'm gonna keep the trumpet one going because I recorded it on the wrong track. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna save it, but I'm gonna do it one more time on the right track. So I'll be right back. Sometimes it gets really messed up. You have to make sure you have the right track selected before you start recording using that microphone button. So let's make sure that trumpet one's selected. Make sure it's green. Make sure this one's off, and let's go for it. Should work. Alright. Okay, so now you'll notice that it picked it up. Alright. So now this recording, I placed it into track 1, and you can add more effects now in track 1. You can do whatever you want to do with the recording once you have it. So just clean it up, take that, so now you have it there, and make sure it's on in track 1, and you have it like that. Alright. So you have the recording. You can normalize this now to make it the waveform kind of fit the little pattern here. So you can normalize it. You just double click on it, and then it opens up this. You can reverse it. So it's going to be reversed. Alright. So you can do a lot of cool stuff once you have the audio recording of the trumpet. A cool effect you can do is actually to record the same melody twice, but the exact same thing, and you have to record it twice with different recordings. You can't copy and paste the same recording, but if the first recording you want to pan to the left, and the second recording you want to pan to the right, and having the little differences in the recordings really adds a cool effect when you're listening to it, because it's still the same melody in your head that you're hearing, but the two recordings aren't identical because you recorded them, you know, and each recording has a little bit of human error in it. So having that little bit of gap between the right and left panned track adds a super cool kind of effect that you can use with this. So yeah, I think it's super useful, and I hope this video was helpful in helping you record instruments like trumpet and stuff. So peace. Thank you. I think I gotta read.